Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm Brisman, and today we are finishing off our over-analyzing series of SpellRogue with Sefyra. Sefyra? I'm going to pronounce it every which way, and it'll all be wrong, but I'm doing it for the content, and because I'm an idiot. But anyway,
I better work on my aim.
We today are going to do a run, and we're just going to jump straight into the original setup, the first thing, and yeah, we're just going to jump straight in. I like doing the first ones, and we'll probably revisit some of the other stuff as well, and probably I will do maybe just one more video on some of the other random stuff that you can get and give my recommendations on things like the relics and the void spells and stuff like that as well, because I think it's still be quite good to go over all those other things. But today we get to play our Thunder Lady, you know, and yeah, we're just going to have some fun. We're going to go for try and get a pure static build going if we can. At least that'll be the plan. And we have a really good setup to begin with. How the static builds go is going to be two different ways. We're either going to focus on one less item choices. First turn, killing an enemy. I don't think we're going to kill an enemy first turn, I don't think, that often. Actually, no, maybe we might. Take 10 damage. Interesting. I'm going to reroll these. They're already terrible. Every second turn is bad. Each turn, -1 to highest die. I'll take that, actually. That's fine. A little bit annoying, but not that bad. We have a 2 elite fight to go with, so we're going straight down that middle. We're going for the strike, baby. So, yeah. We're going to focus mainly on trying to get as much static as possible, and we're going to focus on ways to get static, so that is the other thing as well. Tilting die is always good, because we can just change them to odds and evens, things like that as well, which is going to be like the main plan. The nice about it is because we have this ability to do this thing, we can just use the zaps in a more efficient way as well. So, yeah. The main thing is we want to always defend first, so we can then apply this in the right way. Do that to tilt the die. And again, get 2, and we'll just then kill them. So nice and effective on a turn 2 kill there. Now, if we are going to keep going there, Twin Shield is a really good way to kind of benefit this as well. It is actually pretty good defense with the extra gain, and the upgrades can be fairly interesting to use as well, so we'll take it, and then we'll carry on down the middle. I mean, there was arguments for either or no, like some of the offensive option, because they have semi-good defense, but this just kind of shores up that defense a little bit more for me, in my opinion. And because I want evens to keep the defense going, that's the other aspect of it. The nice thing about this is any 3 I can just turn into something higher, apparently. Other stuff by getting rid and sacrificing things, so we can keep doing this and overflowing, and we're having a good time. So that's the other thing with Electrolyze. I probably want to go for like a good upgrade on that as well, but we'll think about it. So we've gained an extra 3 armor as well. We can also gain a little bit more armor just to make sure we can get our static going, to make sure we can like attack twice, because that's going to be a good amount of damage. But we do need more on there, so we'll leave that for now. So yeah, static overall will just half itself at the end of every turn, so it's always something to watch out for. So if we do want to like maintain certain levels of value, that is also the other thing to watch out for. For the meantime though, make sure to keep this up. Okay, he summoned one of those things which we do have to kill off, which is kind of annoying, but hey-ho. It is kind of frustrating to keep seeing that happen, to be honest, but, yeah. A 4, and then what we're going to do is a 3 to kill this off. Can't kill that off. Guess that goes in there then, and then we use the 5 to kill this off. Yeah. Oh, no, didn't kill it off. What? Oh, I guess I spent the thing on that. Come on. See brains malfunction. A 2 to gain that there. Trigger this to go to a 6. That's pretty good, actually. Into there. Give me more static, and then we'll deal 5 damage to kind of one-shot this guy so we don't deal with anything else. And then we've got defense. We'll get the wound back, but we're still good. We're still good. So, not much to worry about. I'm going to focus on just killing them if I can, but I only got like so much static available, so I do want to generate some. I can't kill him there either, so I'll still do damage, might as well. Don't worry guys, it's all okay. I just need to generate like 2 static and we're good. That doesn't matter anyway. I could have got the kill, but I'm being ridiculous here. Really? Lots of ones game, thank you. Anyway. So yeah, we're going to try and focus on getting as much static as possible. So, Absorb Potential is pretty good in this build, actually. And I will pick it up because that will start allowing me to, on 6s, which I should get a lot off with the Electrolyze, really kind of work it out. Now, the other thing on this is I kind of want to go for the more charges on this one, just because getting rid of the static gain is not really going to affect me that much in the grand scheme of things, right? Now, with this instant upgrade we get, I could change this to make this easier to cast. It is kind of semi-worthwhile to do so, thinking about it. There is also the idea of reducing that so this casts for free every time I do cast it. And it can kind of go into there, but we'll leave that for later. The extra increase on these, the deplete is interesting as well, but for now we just want the extra charges on this, because it'll mean that I can get 6s more often, and that is kind of what we want to do. Now, into the elite fight. Seeing as I got a way to already gain, like, some free stuff off there, like, I might as well do that, because that's just quite useful. Could have gained static first to get the die back, but I'm like, it's first turn, I am going to be a moron. Anyway. I never stop being an idiot. It's part of my charm. And then just deal that damage. So now every turn we will basically gain 3 static and then lose it. And there is an equilibrium of this eventually hitting 6 because I will lose 3, gain 3. Pretty much is what will end up happening. So there is a reason for me to continuously do that. We'll roll this, that becomes 6, then we do that again. Now we already have static, which is kind of nice, so we can actually do this and return the die back with a -1, which means we got some way to deal damage. We can also gain a good amount of armor with both of these 2 spells. Although we didn't get the extra bit from that because I wasn't more not got the spark, but we can use that to get the damage in anyway and carry on. So yeah, now we're at 6, so we gain 6 per turn. We've got that from there, so we've got 10, so that's kind of nice, which means now we can start rolling die in a very good old fashion, and we'll consistently get more and more defense. We'll do this to return that with 1, and then, yeah, increase that by 1 again, get the overflow effects, do that again, and why not do once more? Like, I could use a lot of this just to try and keep, like, the cool stuff, but I'm like, at this point the main thing I want to do is just get as much value out of the die I already have. The deplete effect, this will be pretty good actually for the way we're going, and then we're going to look into do that because it actually gives us static back, and we'll go from there. So now we're at 9 static generation with the electrify, and this is kind of like the main build that I kind of always recommend as the starting off point, right? Because, like, once you get a setup, and the absorb potential is, like, really useful for that. This here, because we got a good way to deal with it, we'll turn it to a 4. You get a 6 there. Use that to get the 5 back, so we now have an offensive attack. Use 2 of them to get armor, which you don't really need, so we'll just do this and that. And then get more damage. Like, this is the fun about the electrify, is the fact that it does stack up, and I can use it every turn pretty much as well, so. It is actually pretty good. The overflow triggers, that's kind of nice. Can we do it again here? Yeah. We keep the 6, that's great. Do that, we have 5. I would like a 3 if I can get one, so I guess I'll do that. Although I should use the 5 first, never mind. So, an even, do 3 damage there, do that there, then just gain shielding, although we're going to take a bit of damage in return from me kind of... Oh, no, we didn't. I was sure we could take a bit of damage for being greedy, but I have enough static to not worry about it. And this is kind of what I like about this particular character. Electric buffer is kind of cool. Problem is like I've already got some really good setup ones, and none of these spells really work with the build, so we're going to re-roll here. What do we get? Spirit Step is interesting. Ether Coil kind of has some use in this. Silver Lining is kind of interesting. The shifting is kind of cool as part of the mechanic, and it's even as well. It does give me more armor. I have 2 armor gains. I will take it, but I will not probably use it. So this is kind of a mechanic that I kind of like about it. Because I've got the spell, I can't get the spell again, and because it's one of the rare ones you are guaranteed to get from a boss, by doing this means I'm less likely to get it in the pool when I come to the end of the boss, so it is actually worth me picking up as I have nothing better to do, plus it also sells for more. So that's kind of the choice of what I did that there. Now, for me, what do I want to do? I guess, like, Absorb Potential has some interesting factors. There's also gaining more armor off this, which would be a lot better in the long run. Also gaining a bit more static with the roll and the extra dice could have a bit more value to it and things like that. Because especially when you're returning the die with tilt, it does cast and keep using it, so there is a benefit to going that route as well. I probably would like more armor to begin with at the moment with the twin shield, so that's what we'll do. We've got a shop though, so we can have some good sales if we need to force the issue a little bit. Rolling 2 ether die. That is kind of cool. Flurry is also interesting. Like, once I start getting a lot of static built up, 3 damage to random enemy per static, like, that's quite a lot of damage, which can actually be kind of semi-useful for the build we're looking at. I do like Cloud Step, but the issue is I don't really have the ability to move it across easily unless I have 3s and 4s, and I start rolling this quite a lot of the time. So it's kind of like I have to keep the die, and then I have to try and use it in this, I've got to deplete it, and it's not going to work out very well. So none of these are screaming at me. Flurry, though, is, though. Flurry does kind of give me this idea of something I want to pick up. Just because it's a payoff card for all the static gain I have, but to be honest, like, I might just have enough static anyway where it doesn't matter. And this is kind of the problem I have with it, right? Like, by the time I built up all the static that I have, just keeping the static turn per turn will eventually give me more value than this. But because I have a mixture of gaining it between small bursts and larger bursts, kind of evens out in a way, right? So, I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up. Like, my instinct is telling me it's not a great idea, but I think there is some merit to at least holding on to it as well, for the idea of it does, again, limits the rare spells for the boss pool, right? So there is some merit on that front as well, so yeah. Anyway, what are we doing here? What's the first plan? Instantly get that. That's kind of cool. I like that. We'll roll that, get a 6 then. We still keep the 1, so that returns the 5. We're on still a 3 with that. Turn that into a 4. That becomes an overflow, which comes to a 6. Which isn't great, but it's still workable. We'll get rid of the last static for now. Change that to 2 4s. Not what I wanted to see. I'm going to turn this into a 3, just because it's going to work that way anyway. We'll set some defense up here. Then do this here as well, to gain all the shielding. And just deal the zap there. I need an offensive spell, and that is kind of like my reasoning as well, is like, actually, yeah, I would probably end up struggling with some of these fights if I don't have at least an offensive ability to deal with stuff, right? I wouldn't turn it into a 4, but let's turn this into a 3, get the 6 this way. That becomes a 5. And now we're kind of like in a good stead to kind of like mess around with stuff. So we'll generate the static first, so we get the 1 shot on this guy. Should we kill that guy? We can kill both. We can kill both. We can kill both. Do that. So that becomes a 5. No, it doesn't, because I don't think. Cool, yeah. Remember, game, remember. And then, I guess, generate some static for the damage. because it's both the same value anyway. I'm just going to keep chipping away, getting rid of minions, chipping at that villain as well. Just, you know, usual stuff, nothing to worry about, yada yada yada. Like, the real cool benefit is, because I'm going to have so much of it, like spending it is going to be really useful as well. So there is that aspect of it also, which is kind of nice, right? A Spark Shield could be upgraded. It is worth doing so at some point. Hit the damage there first. Apply this here, I think? Or do we want to get more die out of it? No. Deal damage. And do it again. We're up to 9, so now I think we should have enough where we do, like, always keep some around. So that's kind of nice to know. Come up to a 6, it overflows, that's kind of good. Do that there, put a 5 back. We do have an even, which don't really want to chuck that one in. We'll chuck 2 in, I guess. Again, overflow that one. Another 5 and a 3, which is kind of nice. Do it again. A 6 and a 2. The 6 2 can go there. The 6 can overflow. A 5 and a 2. So I guess we're going a 4 and a 5 in here. And doing this damage and that damage. Voila. And this is what I kind of like about it. Like just when you start scaling enough of this Electrify, it is just really useful to have a lot of it just to deal damage, and it can just one-shot opponents as well. So, like, you tend to not really need to worry about it as well. Like, I mean, look at this as well. Like, even I had a bad turn, and because I got enough rolls on this, I can start generating extra die and just having really good value. We do 10 damage. Not fully defended, so we do need more die. That's enough armor. Random hit. And yeah, we got 15, 19 by the looks of it, so as long as I kill the front guy, we're still good, so that's fine. And yeah. Death by lightning. And this is kind of like a really good standard build setup. I mean, I kind of got semi-lucky with some of the stuff I have. Not going to deny that. We're going to keep with the thematic of what we're going for. Aero Guard is not really useful for us. Wind Shear is kind of interesting, but like it doesn't fit our build, even though it's a really good attack spell for us to kind of pick up. But we're kind of handling well with just scaling up the Electrify. And then Magnetize, although it does give me the Electrify, just applying this isn't good enough for me, so we're going to roll. Shock is kind of cool, in a way. Does a bit of attack, can increase, so it gives me a bit of that extra thing as well. Pierce I like, because it is just generally a good spell, plus the reroll effect and things like that is kind of nice. Twisting Edge, interesting. I mean, Shock has more upside, just because it's going to give me more static if I do cast it. Pierce is really good at just dealing damage, and I will take Pierce in this case, just because the potential upside for it is so good, and even just being able to cast it 3 times, get a die back, is still also a good upside as well, right? Like, that's the main reason why I would rather take it. Turn 1, all enemies gain Undying. I do not see how that can ruin me. To be honest, I don't think I'm actually ever going to kill them in 1 turn anyway, and the extra gold could be somewhat useful, so let's take it. Move on to this. Now, do we gain a spell? I will gain a spell. We'll try and gain something pretty decent. Wind Crest I like, and it has some really good flexibility with the build that we're doing at the moment. The Focus Blast is kind of interesting, although getting 1s is a bit of a problem, and we're not really going to the movement stuff, although it is kind of nice to build. And the Bolt's Hammer, again, is a little bit too expensive for what we want. There is a option to reroll. We'll reroll. After Image, I do like this spell. It has some really good synergies for what we're looking for. We're just going to double check everything else, look at the upgrade stuff. The Feather Lash is not really useful, not a very good spell. And, Thunder Crash. Is interesting. just because of this upgrade, but I'd have to invest something into it, and I think I'd rather invest stuff in other things, like the after image. Like, I got good offense, just a bit more utility would be nice. Even got this as like the ultimate offense if we need it. That's going there. Yeah, after image is the route to kind of have the more useful stuff. So, let's fight. After image is a little bit awkward to cast at the moment. Don't have enough dice for it, but we can generate some die, which is kind of nice, and there are ways for us to kind of benefit from that. So, not a bad overflow, but not a great one. Let's do that again. That is a 6, so we can get to use that. Delightful. And now, so Pierce is quite nice in the sense that it's just going to deal really good damage all the time, right? We don't have to worry about them, what they're doing. We can just do a massive amount of DPS output is the main thing, so we got to mainly focus on that. I think I want to get some decent stuff here and then kind of like upgrade some of these maybe, or the main thing is the evens go in there and the odds go elsewhere, right? That's the main thing. Having ways to get more absorb potential back would be nice as well, so there is that kind of game plan also. We do get our 6, we can put it in there. Turn that to a 4, we can then overflow that dice. We can do that again if we wanted to, but I'm thinking just do a bit of damage to these guys at the back first. Get them gone. They are out of here. Get our die back. We got a 4 back. Turn that to a 3 then. Get the overflow. Oh, we didn't get the overflow because I'm a moron. Get a 6. No, 6. So yeah, that. Okay. Bad choices around. Didn't have enough electrify. I think that's one thing I always will fail on, is generating the electrify at the right time. Just because it's so easy for me to forget that I need to do that, like, on a consistent basis. Huh. Well, that's the 6 that I wanted. Kill that guy off. Do the 8 damage. Do another 8 damage. We get a dice back. Get a 4 back. We have a 5. That's an even to generate a static. We have a 4, which can turn into other stuff. Might as well. That's another shot there. Deal 10. Then deal 8. And the 1. We're getting a 9 to start with. Turn that to a 4, which becomes a 6. Or one of them will, and then do this. So yeah, this is kind of a very simple build. I like it because it's really showing just like, I haven't got anything overpowered, but we are scaling quite nicely. And that's kind of like what you're looking for in a lot of this stuff, is like, okay, how am I dealing damage? How am I going to scale? What is the best course of action? What am I doing to win the game as such? And we can win the game just by ending the turn here, which is kind of nice. Even though apparently I'm going to take damage if I do that. That doesn't seem right. So we'll do it that way, just to make sure. Because I think it's a 50-50 chance of killing myself there, actually. What artifacts go? Even turns cast the leftmost spell. This is kind of interesting. This is a free cast, which I kind of like the idea of. There is a reason for me to take this. Because every even turn, it just gives me a free cast something. Amulet of Sacrifice with the sap is kind of bad. At the start of turn, roll 2 ether die, which these will persist between and lower countdowns, which have one countdown here. Don't have any others, so I think the hypercube is actually kind of what I want, to be honest. But before we do that, we'll look at our spells, because I think that's always a good idea to see what we get. Skybreak doesn't really fit our build. Tempest Slash doesn't either. And Ether Storm is expensive, but again, kind of works for my build. And with the Echo and stuff, there is a reason to kind of have this around, right? It's another way of scaling, which, because I cast quite a lot of spells, it might actually be worth it And, like, I don't use it enough, so I would like to experiment to see kind of, like, if it is worth it. So there is one spell that we all know and we all love, and is the Wings of Thunder, which we should be going for if we can roll for it. But the Ether Storm is kind of interesting in the way that once I get it cast, like, it's going to start paying for itself kind of nice, and the Echo Dice kind of helps out with casting other things. So having lots of Echo, or casting this for free, actually, every second turn sounds delightful. Let's do that. Yeah. That seems great. So what this will do is even turns it casts the leftmost spell. So for the meantime, we're going to put the leftmost spell to being Absorb Potential, because that's just going to keep casting itself everything else. And then once we get our upgrade, we're probably going to start swapping stuff out. So we'll get like the Flurry in, Pierce will probably end up leaving us, Zap will probably end up leaving us, and then we'll probably have Ether Storm and Flurry come in with the after image as well, if we can get that, and start upgrading those and going for a really good fun run. Yeah, Hypercube. Never seen it before. I never play with it, but we're going to have a good run with it, I think. At least have 10 max health, I'll probably take that, because that's just fine. One boss having bigger health is, you know, not that bad. I have to go this route to get this special boss, that's what we'll do. As always. Lose Pierce to choose to gain a ritual. Do we want to lose Pierce already? Is that worth it? Yeah, I guess it's kind of fine, really, if I lose it now. Yeah, because a ritual can be pretty good. Or like the 50-50 on the Artifact or Rune. Let's do the 50-50. I like gambling. Cannot be cast with spells. Auto cast each turn. The Rune of Automation. Oh, that's hilarious. Each turn cast. Goodbye, Pierce. You're being gone. Anyway, Ether Storm casts itself. This casts every turn. Oh, we've got a run on our hands, folks. We've got a run on our hands. So this gives me an Echo Die every single turn, which is absolutely brilliant for the things we want to be able to do and all that jazz. The next thing is I want to keep increasing this in value. We already do... Actually, that is a question. I need to figure that out. Let's just run it one anyway. That gets a 5 and generates that. That's kind of cool. We could just check this in the evens, because it does trigger both if we wanted to. But again... See, this is what I mean. Like, this doesn't trigger in both of these. And we'll show that by testing it, because the trigger effect doesn't work. Ooh. That's kind of awkward. Cool, that landed there. So this actually goes in here, and will go in there. And that will cast. Brilliant. And that Ether Die could go here, but yeah, so we've got to figure out how we're going to use the Echo Die more efficiently and start working our way around that as well. So that is also something for us to figure out. Zap to deal some damage to the front guy, because he's going to be the biggest problem. We'll gain some defense. We use that to deal more damage. Do it again. We can go up to 1. We can get more armor. This rues all bad effects, so we'll keep all of that for now. Gain 1 static. This is now cast, I get an extra die. So this is actually giving me an extra die per turn and the Cyclone because of the auto cast. And it's just funny. Absorb Potential cast itself, which also returned a die with -1 on 6. So I now have a 5 to cast, and the joys of the game, right? Deal the 1 damage there. The casting is brilliant. Yeah, let's just kill that guy. See where the things go. Ooh, that's gonna... Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't cast itself anyway this turn, does it? Guess we're just gonna work our way to try and increase lots of die in value to get as much out of these as we can. And I got dice spare to use whenever. And this guy should die just to my static gain, right? Yeah. So I don't need me to cast anything. We got a broken build. This is great. I love it, the fact that I can get a broken build like this. Obviously, the only issue with it is like you'd have to unlock some of this cool stuff anyway. Arc is kind of a good spell to have to deal with damage, and then helps build up, plus the randomness is slightly better than the Zap, in my opinion, because of that, so I will pick the Arc up. Vexing Skies, again, is interesting, so you just get lots of die, but we're not really using die in this run, so we don't need to worry about that. Gather, again, same issue, it just doesn't really matter at this point. I will gain enough. We'll take Arc, because that has some good upside for the extra hit if we want to, if we get, like, power scaling, or we could just deal more damage, so there is that option as well. There is the option of putting Flurry in now also, but I'm liking putting the Zap in. Absorb Potential is still good. Eventually we'll probably swap that out. Maybe. Don't know. But we'll get rid of the Zap for now and carry on. And we want to go... Do we get a ritual now? Yeah, we'll take a ritual and then go to here and here. Target spout applies times 2 status effects. Interesting. Apply 2 targets gain a power. That's kind of cool. That actually works out really well for our build as well. Every 2 turns gaining a power. And random spell getting reduction in cast. So this will just does it double the effect? Oh, plus 2 to the effect. So this will cast the effect plus twice. You know, this gets plus 2, that gets plus 2, that could get plus 2 by auto-cast it, so it's kind of like irrelevant. I guess we take the Deathblink just because that will help out with some AoE stuff and will gain me some power, so there is double dipping there. Lose health. Pay 10 gold for Guardian Gale. Kind of a nice defensive spell. Helps out with some of the build stuff that we already have. Could replace the Spark Shield, if that was the case, because like once it starts going off, it has some uses, especially with rolling a die. And on ones, it does give me utility as well, which is kind of nice. Can we benefit from that utility? No, is the answer. Not whatsoever. So... guess losing max life to gain gold. I'm rich! Now, do we want Arc or do we want the Flurry in this? I'm going to keep the Arc for now because I think it's just a good stable offensive attack. There is an issue where like Spark Shield eventually might need to go or stuff like that, but we'll carry on for now. Okay. Last one straight in there. Ah, cool, because that cast, then that cast, and yeah. I gotta double check if that cast automatically is still the same, but... So we know that if it's the front one, we can always kind of like deal with them quite nicely, and this, applying this to 2 targets early is going to be really good as well. So we don't have to worry too much about some of the stuff we do. But, how are we going to figure this out? What do we want to do? Turn some of these 6s and that into even die. We've got a lot of even stuff now, so that's kind of nice. We don't need to worry about odd die as much. We've got some decent countdown effects and stuff as well. So, 2 go in there, and 2 go in there. We're going to put 1 4 in here, I guess, to... Ah, that's the other random enemy, so that's the other bit I gotta watch out for. I have enough, so that's kind of fine. To kind of keep my static if we wanted to. So steal damage, gain some extra armor. I guess set this up to be cast again next turn. So this auto casts, this auto casts. We cast this, we do that and that. We can gain the power, so that is absolutely brilliant. This just goes in here and does 3 damage and actually duplicates the die as well, so that's pretty good. And voila, we literally got a run on our hands. Without even trying. Turn it to a 4 then, that will overflow. I generally don't think I actually need to do anything. I can just do some chip damage here and not worry about the rest of it and just kind of like set myself up in good stead for anything else. And what's nice is like the spends on these actually cancel each other out anyway, so... Ooh, we got a wound die. 2 on that, that's not great. I'm going to put this in here to reduce it into a 1. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. And do this. Gotta make sure that I can make the most of it, right? Absolute brilliance. That gets an overflow. That becomes even. Slowly do chip damage. Put that in there, just so it goes away. Becomes even. And then we wait till the auto cast on this thing next turn. Oh, never mind, we get the kill. We really do gain a lot of the static early. Ooh, the scale. Having more than 400 gold. And for every 3 5s rolled, gain a concoction. Pretty good. And our reward will be... Oh, Boral Cage, I really wanted you. That's just a pretty good spell to have. But Soulstone is what we've got to pick up to get the final boss stuff done. We're going to jump that in there, put the Soulstone in there for the final bossy boss. Just so we can trigger it. Echoing Wind, again, I like the idea of it, but we kind of got enough as it stands. Breath of Thunder. So Breath of Thunder is a better payoff card than our Flurry. And I hope you can see why that is the case, even if we are getting lots of static, just because this will keep scaling and it can be cast every single turn without an issue. And the fact the upgrade on both of these is actually really good. So I'm going to buy that just straight up. We're going to take that potion, we'll sell Lifesteal. 8 Electrify is really good though. Anything else that we want from here is kind of no. Although, roll 2 Silence Die, gain the Foresight, gain the Echo. Interesting idea. No, let's just gain some artifacts. Let's see what we get. For a spell applying block, each turn applies Fury. Kind of cool. If half-life, gain heal 12. Static hits twice. Thank you very much. I'll take that. Every second turn, split a random die. Roll the Stygian die for just extra die to start with. Every 10 spells cast, deal 7 damage to all enemies. Splitting a random die seems pretty good, actually. Every second turn. Has its uses kind of thing, right? Splitting die and stuff can be more useful. An extra die to start with, and basically duplicating this repeatedly could also be pretty good to deal more damage. We can always scale them up, so that's kind of cool. All these are actually pretty interesting. I think this is the better one, just because it deals a lot of damage, but I'm going to roll to get something pretty decent. 4 block. I only currently gain 4 block anyway, so that's interesting. For a 12 die, gain a Cascade. That's kind of cool. I think I'm going to take the Everguard here. I think that's actually one of the better ones to have. At least we can keep some block between rounds if we don't get attacked. On a 2, heal 1. Kind of nice. On a potion usage, gain 2 power and 2 concoction. Gain block, apply rupture. The healing is kind of nice if we do roll 2s, but I don't. The potion gain with power gain can actually be pretty good, but we're not going for multi-hits anymore anyway. So we'll roll. Gain block, gain 1 fury. It's kind of interesting stuff about a random spell 4 times. And roll 1s, gain barrier and fury. I'll take that. It's going to ruin me. I always do it, and I hate doing it every time I do, because 1s can be a real pain to deal with, but that's fine. Art, you now might need to go away with, because we have the Wings of Thunder. And it's something where I would really like to have that be cast, like, every single turn. The other thing is, like, I want the Soulstone to be cast, so this is the best way to do it, to be as cheap as possible. Cheap and cheerful type thing. And then this goes next. Ordering spell-wise, this should go next if we get the upgrade to reduce this by 4. Right? And then we have, like, other stuff going next to it, right? So this is kind of the setup I want. So we can help the Echo die go in here and kind of apply to both if it is 6 or something. So yeah, we've got a very interesting setup. I do like it. It's something really useful. It's something unique that I've never really been able to mess around with before. So like Ether Storm always casts. I can always keep doing stuff with it as well. There's particularly no issues there. That's a decent 6 straight away. This will cast next turn anyway, so there's no point putting anything else in there. So we just chuck this in here then? No, here. Because that will return the die with, I guess, 1. No, it didn't. It didn't return the die with -1. Okay. Because it cast first and the rest of them did. Okay, interesting. So we now know that this doesn't trigger on die cast, apparently. Because, yeah, that triggered there. It's cost 1, this didn't cast, so yeah, okay. Now we know. Now we know. We figured stuff out. See, this is what we do these things for. This is why we test our theories and have to kind of be like, okay, what's the best course of action for us, right? I love it. It's going to keep gaining stuff every time we gain static, and we gain it every single turn by this. Every spell we cast does more. This gains 2, so it gains 2 again. Gain more armor. Now roll it higher, that will just roll over die. Okay, so guess that and that can go in there then. And we can actually cast this off straight away, so let's do that. Take massive damage. I actually block everything still as well, but that's hilarious. And yeah, I forget that my static hits twice as well. That's also pretty good. Oh, cast straight away. It's terrible. I lost a 1. Oh no, I lost another 1. Yeah, applied to that. You and you. Take the Death Pact. Guess we're just gonna have to re-roll these die a little bit. Absorb potential, so that's now been triggered. Turn that back to a 4. That gets the overflow. Guess I'll turn this to a 5, just because we might get like better chance of getting other stuff as well. Do it again. Okay, now do we have 18? 4, 4, 4, 12. No, we do not. So defense up then, I guess. Before we do that though. Just because I have a feeling that I'm going to take a lot of damage otherwise, right? That's pretty cool. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Like, I just... rolling 1s, it always happens, man. It always happens. Just die. No idea why. No idea why. That's kind of interesting, but not really what we want to pick up, although it is better than other stuff to have for sellable purposes. So we'll go into here, create half the void key. Okay. So absorb potential casting every other turn is kind of nice. We can cast that whenever we need to. I think we actually swap these over. Just because getting 6s in here is a lot better. And like casting this every other turn is a lot easier than casting it once per turn, right? So it's just free damage that way. So I always cast it once per turn. Or no, once every other turn. I never thought we'd have an Ether Storm build that would ever end up popping up my way in this particular scenario, but I am not going to say no to stuff when it happens, you know? No, we need to gen this first, then go for this. Cool. Do that again. That's a 6, delightful. This now goes in there. We can cast it immediately. Do we cast it though? Don't think so. Do not think so. I could get barrier, but it's kind of pointless, so I'd rather just gain that. Put that in there anyway, then we do this to kind of like overflow some stuff to make sure we have more value. Do this damage. I don't need to cast anything else. Do these stick? No, they don't. They spin. Nice, so this should cast. Put it on the boss. That's now being triggered. We're on the good stead. Even trigger that there. Roll this. Do it again. And again. I've got to use the 6 now while I can. That's the 4. Then put that, and that in there. No point casting it this turn because I don't do any damage otherwise. My one disappeared. No. Huh. Oh no, it doesn't cast. Cast next turn, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Second turn. Second turn's always. Guess just put that in there. It's like the electrolyze trigger is still pretty good, right? Even if I'm not the one casting this all the time. And then we could just start one-shotting them. Oh yeah, I forgot we got the Deathlink. Who wants to get one shot, folks? I got 45 defense as well. I can't actually do that. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. Did not know that's how that worked. Well, you get one shot. Have fun. I guess, yeah, just do that. Okay, I'm only doing it because it does give me more static than I need, so this is the reason why we're casting that. Yeah, this build's actually pretty good. Like, this gaining like 10 armor per turn is actually a good amount of armor. It's sustaining me quite well, and because I can keep it, like, we're doing quite well with that. Something not to be underrated, in my opinion. I think that was always a bit of a problem sometimes. It's like, do you underrate the value of something? Not quite the kill, so... let's just use it. A 2 and a 5. There we go. Soul Stone and Void Key assembled. That didn't take long, no, did it? And what have we got here? Extra die, but we just start destroying die. Odd turns, 2 random die. +2 to 2 random die 2 times. That's actually kind of useful. We'll double check what spells we get. Do we get the thing we wanted? Zephyr's Touch is kind of interesting as well. Prickling Air is kind of a good little bonus to... well, we don't roll 1s anymore, actually. So no, it's not. Because of this. So we'll roll these. Static Electricity is actually good defense for our build. And with an upgrade, it could be really useful. Yeah, it's worth picking up. The +2 is kind of nice because it means I can get 6s more consistently even if I don't have those. Static Electricity has gone in there, which is kind of interesting. I'd rather have the bigger payoff of just scaling this quicker, I think, rather than anything else. We don't... This is now better defense, and we could have after image. So absorb potential doesn't need to go there. Those two can go there. I think we put this and this, and absorb potential goes this side, just in case we do get 6s. Right? Is that fair? I think that's fair. Because 4s can't go anywhere else, and triggering that is just kind of useful if you do get echoes that kind of go into both. We can put them in here, and it triggers into there and there. So positioning is, again, important with the echo stuff and cool stuff like that. We've got some really good mechanics going on. When attacking a spell reduced by 6 this turn, we only really attack once, so that's absolutely fine. We'll pick that up. We could go for an early shop. We have 2 elites that I'd rather go with as well. So I guess we're going shop anyway to get those, really. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Got a good amount of spells I can sell or something, so if we do want to get something pretty interesting, we can do. Overclock's kind of cool, but we don't really need it. All the rest of them are not really what we need, so I'm going to sell Flurry. And do Silver Lining as well. And we're going to gain artifacts. What do we get? We can gain a power, which could be pretty cool, or no. +1 charge to something actually seems pretty good. I'm going to take that, because I have a lot of die anyway. If I get rid of some more spells, I could buy if I sell everything, but I'll need the spells for later, so no. Take the potion and leave. The power potion is kind of more interesting for me there, just because it'll upscale some damage. So I have a lot of defense stuff. Some of them I will use, some of them I won't use, or I mean, I can use these quite well. I do need an upgrade on this, so that's the main thing we'll need. Have a lot of stuff that require echo to trigger, so that's also a problem. We can just use it straight away if we want, which I will. That becomes a 3, which is not brilliant, but that actually rolled the best way possible, so let's go. Into a 6. Ah, they're brilliant. Should probably never have shoved that straight there, but you know, I'm having fun immediately with that. Do the solid, do that, chuck that in there. Getting 2 of those die. We can tilt this to a 4, right? To a 6 now. Okay. We can tilt this into a 4 then. Get another echo die. Put it in both of these. No, I can't gain any more armor, which is very disappointing, so we'll hold back on this. But I can like get all the static from that and pass. We take a bit of damage, which is a lot for that. So cast this and this. That 3 becomes a 5. Duplicates to a 6. Very nice. That. 2 2s. We get a 6 back. Hit the kill. We took a bit of damage. That's what I mean, like these fights, like if you get like some weird stuff happening in the early turns, you can still lose. It's kind of ridiculous, really. We'll take that because it's sellable for more if we do want to sell it. So you have some shops I think we might hit. Maybe. Who knows? Okay, elite fight. Let's go. Now we lost an early one. I feel terrible about that. And lost that one as well. But luckily, geometric lens with the overflow is pretty good. So we survive based upon that. Turn that into a 6. Actually, let's learn. It doesn't. Brilliant. That's nice to know. Do that and that. Get an Echo Die. Check that in there. Do we use the 5? We use the 5. Put that in there. So that triggers that to go. Triggering that. Do that again. That Echo triggers. We get 2 6s and 2 1s. So 1 and 1. We lost the 1 there. And trigger that. The only issue is that the twin shield isn't very good anymore because it only gives me 20 armor, but it's still pretty good. So we do this first, so we get one of these to 6, and then do that. Trigger this immediately, just in case it gains 6 armor. It's still pretty good, right? I don't have... I got 2 3s, so we're triggering this again, I guess. Lots of small increases all over the place. Again, that's 2 2s, so I guess it does go in there. I was going to say, is that going to kind of backfire? It did backfire. And voila! Kind of good defense setup, kind of good ways to go about stuff. Like, yeah. I'm not going to complain. That being unstable is kind of annoying, but we'll use it. Does it trigger every single time? No, it disappears after it. Cool. So we can just cast this on that, and it'll die anyway afterwards. If we do cast this. I don't know why I did that way. That was actually really terrible of me. But hey. It's still only like a one-shot, just with like 2 different abilities. It's absolutely fine. Thunderbird's Gift. Pretty good. Relay's kind of like decent defense for what it does, in a way. And then the minus reduction is kind of nice as well. Windcrest is still the same. I'm gonna... Do we reroll these? Or is it just go for the power scaling and just be like dumb people that do the Thunderbird's Gift stuff? It's interesting, right? I like the solar electricity, but I think although it's kind of unique and stuff and things like that, it's not actually needed in this particular build, right? This does give me good amount of stuff, and also will -2 to random spells. There is some use on it. Thunderbird's Gift is kind of interesting, but I want some defense tools if we can get them, which, you know, will actually be useful. Air Wall is kind of interesting. It keeps shifting itself by 1 per turn, but I can't shift it back is the issue. So no. Wailing Winds is kind of fine in a way, right? I'll pick it up. Because I can repeat it as well, which is pretty cool. Which means that's like a really good amount. We could get that upgrade. Oh, give me 2 Echo Die on that. Why not? Yeah. 2 Echo Die, I'll take that. I think I'm actually going back to the Spark Shield. Right? I think back to Spark Shield is better. Every 3 turns, -1 to all charge spells. Take 25 damage and roll 1 die each turn. End of turn, damage everyone equal to number of die rolls this turn. Let's take the damage and we'll do that. We can always get some healing back anyway. Straight into this, then into our shop as well. The extra die is pretty useful, so that's kind of why I picked that up. Damage is well worth it. This guy won't do too much. We're going to take the regen potion then, because we should have a good amount of turns to use the health gain. Which basically will pay for itself. And then we'll start. I love these echo die. They're just, like, so good. Like, the more of them I have, the better off it is as well. It's kind of funny. Though it does get to a point where I can't cast stuff anymore, you know? Don't know why I did that. I could have forced a 4 there, but... The main thing I want is to get as much armor as possible per turn, which is kind of what I've done here, so... There we go. That auto casts, right? I don't think I even need to auto cast this anymore. I probably should auto cast the birds of the Breath of Thunder. Maybe. Or do we keep the absorb potential? Interesting debate. It's a very interesting debate. And even... I mean, even to be honest, this is actually probably not really worth it anymore in the build, because the fact that I gained so many of them thanks to the Ether Storm's upgrade now that I kind of just don't need it, right? The only reason I'm doing this is literally because of the fact that it does actually give me more stuff. Although we do take a bit of damage though. That's a kill though. At least it will be. I love that. I've triggered like both ways. It's hilarious. Yeah, done. Breath of Thunder pulling its weight with just the power scaling. And the main thing is, like, I do it, like, so little. That's a pretty good potion, actually. Let's take the shard. The healing would be nice, though. I don't really care about anything else on these. What do we want from this, though? Adjacent beam reduction? Kind of could be good. I need good defense. I don't think my defense is good enough, and, like, everything else is just very awkward to cast and stuff, right? Let's just wait on what we get in the shop. I think absorb potential actually might be something. Yeah. This rolling every turn is not great. You know? Maybe I do want to cast this every turn. Or every other turn. I think I just leave on those. Oh no, we can get rid of, like, Pierce and get a better spell here for the sellable stuff. We get something decent here. That is a payoff card if I've ever seen one for defense. Yeah. I can go... Guess we're getting rid of After Image then. Oh, she didn't need to get rid of After Image. Didn't need to do that. Because Spark Shield can go out now. This can be cast pretty well. And can kind of scale also. I'd probably rather have this cast like... No. Cast that every turn, and then like we got this, and the Twin Shield is still pretty good. The upgrade on this to get more armor, the static is better out of everything else, because again we only have the 4 chances to gain it, so having one here is still pretty useful. And even getting like a Spark Shield still could be interesting. Which is like one of the big armor spell. Oh, Wings of Thunder, though. What was I thinking? Wings of Thunder. You just go there and you cast every turn. You give me exactly what I want. Which seems to absorb potential. It's kind of irrelevant now. Because this does the same thing. Don't have another upgrade, but... we'll keep them both in. Why not, right? We'll keep them both in. I just saw it. I was like, yeah, what am I doing? Wings of Thunder. That's exactly what I want. Yeah. This is a brilliant run. I cannot say anything else other than the fact that it is just really, really good. But the main thing for this, for me, is just the fact that I can kind of like get set up really efficiently. And we can start gaining lots of the static to get a good amount of defense as well. We're going to focus on gaining good defense early, in my opinion, just because that's going to work a lot better in the long run. It's got 3, so we can do that and like we could just lose it all and just gain 3 armor, but that's kind of a bit of a waste. Wings of Thunder it, just so we gain 2 more of that as well, which will give us up to 2. 16, 16. This is a bit of a problem. It's still worth the armor gain, to be honest, right? So 5 and 3. Good damage there. Take a lot of damage that first turn. To everyone equals the number of die rolled this turn. Okay, so that's the problem. I have the golem does damage to me as well. Gotta remember that. There you go. And that's what I mean, like, after that first turn, like, this is just so good by itself now. Like, I don't even need to worry about, like, gaining armor anywhere else after that first turn. So we can just put, like, a 2 in both of those, gain even more. Do the 4. There's a 1, gains all that armor, so we're fully, supported. Twin shield, 55 damage, coming your way, my friend. Not much you can do about it. They both die. After that first turn, we're golden. Yeah, that first turn is my problem. None of these are worthwhile. We don't need any. Just get rid of that anyway now. And then... I don't need to save gold either. Actually, I do kind of need to save gold. So I'll just take the Dark Mirage just because it's worth having. Everything else, we're going to heal for 21 and then fight the boss. Ooh, Wings of Thunder's got 2 charges. That seems brilliant. What's nice about it is because I only have 3 charged defense, that I do technically gain the barrier as well, which is kind of nice, so there is that bonus. Let's just attack for both of those, do it again. Turn this into a 3, which will turn that to a 6. Then do that. And now... gain the armor as much as we can do. Should we gain that as well? Or do we just set everything else up? Oh, I forget. Yeah, I gotta think about that every single time. The crystal gold does damage to me. No, that got broken. That's terrible. feel this game has picked on me a little bit, you know? Do that. Do that for the armor. 51, we should be pretty much good for the rest of the game now. I mean, like, I could keep casting this, but it doesn't actually do anything, does it? I think just, like... Oh! That is interesting. 2 target units. Death Link. Losing health equal to attack. Health from the other... That's... Like, you can use that on yourself. Interesting. Yeah, like, once I get enough everything, then we're going to be in such a good spot, right? I love it. Ether Storm just keeps being cast every turn. It's so good. Oh, nice. One... I gotta be careful. 6 isn't going there, so we're going to move that about as well, right? Oh, yeah. Start working die out. Turn them all into evens and stuff. Guess 2 4s go in there. A 2 and a 2. 2 and a 2. I can't cast that again, so when it does land there, it's kind of nightmarish, right? Like, we're not worrying about static. Like, we'll deal with stuff with the Breath of Thunder and things, so, like, that's the other bit of, like, the puzzle we were worried about earlier, right? 2. Just do this instead. I think we're in a fun spot, really. That I do. Oh yeah, we'll just take my 115 armor. I generally don't think that I can ever, like, lose now, like, after that first turn. If I survive the first turn, we're good. We are golden. That 5 goes there, that 6 and that 2 go there, deal the damage. That 5 and 2 go there, give me the armor. I will admit that I could be, like, doing more damage with the static, and I don't really need to worry about the armor anymore. But that's not what we do on here. We go full, like... We do the full Monty, That is what we do here. We just go insane and mad and be like, you know what, let's just, like, check everything we possibly can at the wall and see what sticks. 77 armor, like, thing. That's actually quite a lot. We should probably just use it. If I do that, though... They don't kind of die next turn anyway, so might as well just gain the armor. Might as well gain the armor. And the 5. And a 5, and that, and then we do 66 damage with the static, and we're done. This is a good run. This is a good run. I will admit, I got very lucky with certain things. I have taken dumb stuff as well in this build, so stuff that I probably wouldn't recommend taking unless you've got the synergies, which is kind of like the reason why I've taken some of this stuff. But yeah, it's kind of really good. I will lose that because I think it's actually hurting me rather than helping me. And 60 gold is actually pretty good, so let's lose the bundle. The bindle, sorry. I could lose 12 max life if we wanted to, but I think that is better. We'll sacrifice some gold to pass through the flames. Gain 3 potions, enter a shop and trade, or gain a shard. Gaining a shard seems pretty good actually here. Can really help me kind of scale with this, which I think is the better way of going about it, just because it will deal more damage quicker, which means I can end fights quicker as well. Wings of Thunder, solid electricity is fine to lose, right? Yeah, we'll lose solid electricity there. Don't care about that. Into the Fog. Lose 2 spells. Pyromaniac. Every second turn, random enemy gains 3 Emulate. Which I don't really want to worry about that, to be honest, so we'll just get rid of 2 spells. Lose a spell, thank you very much. Goodbye, Flux. And let's face off against this boss fight. So if I need, like, random cool stuff, we can have random cool stuff. Might save this potion for the next half of the fight. And stuff. I'm not going to be able to predict where this stuff goes, so the best thing I can do is just get as much armor as possible, right? Like, that's the best way I can do things. Get the potential first, and then do this. Just deal damage to everything. See what happens. Okay, so they're stuck with that guy. That's good. That was the thing I was worried about. Put that in there, because I'd rather trigger all these if I can. 6 extra armor is still pretty good if we can get it. I think this is what it's going to be, right? Just take the 6 armor and go. Use that though, because we'll get more out of it in the long run. 15. It's a good idea to use it now, and then 9 armor, which does fully block, right? Oh, not quite. Oh well. Bit of chip damage, that is fine. The cool thing about it is like now we gain like at least like, yeah, stupid amount of armor straight off the bat. That cast straight away immediately. We can look to try and kill one of these guys off, and then we're laughing at the video game. That we are. I want to get rid of this 4, just so this 4 goes to a 6. And just basically just trying to keep duplicating more and more die with that. So I think that's more efficient use of all the die I'm going to have later anyway. Turn that one up as well. Lots of 2s. So that can go in there. That goes there. We're going to cast this and that to kill that guy off. Kill that one off, and that guy gets the 22. What happened to all that armor that turn? I had a lot of armor. I gained a lot of armor. Is it because I gained this separately? Is that what the issue is? Oh, don't tell me that's what the issue is. It is! Oh my god, that's what's causing the problem. No wonder why I was having problems early game. I wasn't reading what this spell did. Someone will probably be yelling at me in the comments about that one. Oh, that's brilliant, that is. Like, 100% deserved, like, totally. Like, I get it. Like, I'm a moron for not noticing that. The 6 trigger there. That 6 trigger there. We have enough to pretty much get the kill now, right? Yeah. So we use this, see what happens. And we're going to try and min-max a lot of our stuff, if we can. Just that deals quite a lot of damage there. Next up, do we just take the 6, gain the 6 here? Yeah, I think so. He's tried to, right? You know, it's better to gain that, wasn't it? Anything else? Because I'm going to gain the 4. I could get more if I trigger that again, though. If I have that, and that is 7, and 6 doesn't give me enough defense. I would die on backswing, so 3 life, I guess, to try and see if I can cast this as well. Which does give me enough. I just died to 10. Oh, that's a bit of a shame. Oh, because I took the Everguard, I think that was the only thing that probably annoyed me, just because it stopped me gaining as much armor as I could do. Okay. It's a bit of a defeat. Nice to see that I do lose as well, and I will still put them up every time I do lose, like, decent runs as well. What does the needle do? Turn 2, 2 charge left my spell. Very interesting. That is kind of a nice artifact to pick up on as well, actually. Pretty interesting power level with that and what you can do with it. But yeah, I mean, that's a really good build. Probably just some of the relic choices probably were a little bit bad in the end for what I had, and misunderstanding what this twin shield was actually doing is what probably cost me the most. I didn't have anything to set myself up with, so I was too focused on the damage output, which is why I lost there. So I need some better defense things, which, yeah, I can maybe blame myself for that. Yeah, it is what it is, but yeah. Shows you not every run can be always successful and stupid stuff does happen. I think I do have another one of Sefyra to be put up as well, which is just a general one when I was trying out to test the new boss that was released, which I didn't really test the new boss, and you'll see why when I probably release that, which is an interesting run also. But again, if you do enjoy these videos, do leave a like, subscribe to see more, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.